So here we go with the recap of Dark Season 2. Okay, so the first episode, it starts in a time period that's new to us. We see two young characters, which turn out to be a younger Noah and a man that doesn't get a name. So we never actually know who
Never
this
heard of
is.
that. Oh, no.
No. They are working together in the caves. Then when they're outside, Noah kills the other man with a pickaxe.
Very brutal also.
Exactly, but yeah, it was quite brutal in it. So he does that because of that the other guy didn't have faith anymore in the Sigmundus movement. That's the idea.
They show in that episode that they're building the passage.
Exactly, that's what I mean. Yeah, that's what
Exactly.
they're working on.
The whole thing you're thinking, okay, so they must know everything and tell us more, and then continue.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
So then Adam shows up, the big mystery man, or well, maybe not by now. We'll talk about that later on. He's the leader of Sigmundus, and they are looking for some pages in a book. They have a book that's very important to them, and there's pages missing from that book.
Describe Adam, maybe.
This is Adam. Well, Adam is this figure, creepy guy who has like he looks like he's been burned up or something.
Yeah, he looks like he's been very badly burned. Yeah.
Exactly. So maybe that has something to do. Maybe he was close to the nuclear explosion. Who knows? We see Jonas in the future, and he finds in the nuclear plant. He finds this mysterious blob thing. And then there's this new character, which I also still have a lot of questions about. Is this guy Clausen? Suddenly turns up, and he's an investigator.
I have a theory about him.
I'm curious. Let's get into that later on, but I don't know what to think about this guy yet. I think it's a bit too convenient. Maybe it's just a storytelling device because they needed a new character to keep the story going in a natural way. But I'm still a bit doubting of what his role in all this is. And we have Stranger Jonas, who goes to his mother's house, and his mother has it's also a sex scene. His mother's at that moment trying to kill herself. He stops her, tells her who he is, and tells her also who her husband was, which is quite a shocker. Which was, of course, Mikkel, the young Mikkel, the son of her, the son of her lover. How do you call it? Affair. Turned out to be her husband.
Yeah. So before you go further, the thing from episode 1 is like they arrive in 1921. You see the younger version of Noah killing another guy, and the main thing that is important, I think, about this episode is that you see that they're still having to make the tunnel.
Yes.
And then you see that Jonah is still in 2053 after the apocalypse already happened, and he before he goes into the plant and discovers something, he meets with a team of rebels, whatever you want to call them, and they're under the lead of Elizabeth, but the old version of Elizabeth. Elizabeth is the daughter of Charlotte.
Exactly.
And you recognize it because she's mute, so you recognize it by doing the sign language. But she, I think she only has one eye left. Not 100% sure, but she looked very, very like a tough rebel.
In this episode, we see Alexander Tiedemann that closes the power plant.
Yeah.
And decides to hide the yellow cans, the yellow barrels. So then we move on to the second episode. There we see old Claudia visiting her younger self. And giving her a map and telling her to find the time machine, and that the younger self has to stop Adam from managing his plans. Clausen and Charlotte visit Regina Tiedemann for an interview, and Clausen is very interested in her husband Alexander, which turns out later he has some.
He's also very because Regina is suffering already from cancer, And Clausen is new in this whole town, and he's very rude. He's asking immediately the main thing that he asked was important to him. Why did your husband take on your family name? Your last name. The moment they have the interview with her is that she also has a box on the table, and the box on the table was left by the stranger in the hotel. Because the moment he left the hotel, he said, "I want to take on the room. I want to keep the room," but he never came back. But he said also, "Please send this box," and the box had to be sent to Bartosz.
Exactly. Yeah.
So they have this box.
There's some pages in there, right? So some pages from her.
The pages from the book.
Yeah.
From the time machine book.
Yeah. Well, in the future, Jonas gets called in this episode by the older Elizabeth, when he tries to go back into the death zone, and he's about to be hanged. But then Elizabeth at the last minute decides not to do it.
But already he's scarred like,
which is quite important for what we later found out about Adam, though. I'm not sure still, but that's
my theory. That I'm not sure. Yeah.
There's one girl in this episode, Celia, who we also don't know anything about.
Yeah, we only know that she's helping Jonas in the end to go into the God to step into the God particle, but that's it.
Exactly. So that's actually where this episode ends. If one goes into the God particle. Then we go into the next episode where we see young Helge becoming the first successful time traveler, and we find out that Agnes and Noah are actually siblings. So and then Claudia goes to visit her father at the police station, Egon Tiedemann, and then visits H.D. Tenhouse one more time. And then she gets confronted by Noah, who tells her she is going to die. And before he shoots her, Claudia talks about that Noah is just a pawn in the game, and that he doesn't know which role he's playing. And then when Noah finds the missing pages from the book, he is very shocked by what he finds out. In 1987, there's also a lot going on. We have Ulrich that tells Egon when he's being questioned who he is. When Egon later brings a photo of Mikkel, then Ulrich goes all mental.
But did you also think that it's a different actor? But I thought for a little bit it was the same actor with makeup.
Was it a different actor?
Yeah, it was a different actor. Yeah, he looks similar.
Quite well done.
Was like, no, man, it's a different actor. And I was like, no, it's the same. And then we found it actually is a guy that looks like him, but just a bit older. Yeah.
Very well done. But then it's the thing that we talked about before. Claudia visits H.G. Tenhouse, and he says that he wrote this book even before he wrote it, more or less. So that's that bootstrap paradox. Like he didn't write it, and the book came to him, more or less.
Yeah, Claudia also uses the time machine, I remember, and travels to 2020, where she sees her daughter Regina at home with cancer on the bed.
Oh yeah. So then in episode 4, we start out with Jonas, and we see that he goes to 1921, where he meets younger Noah. So then things are starting to make sense for him, or not make sense to him. Yeah. So he meets younger Noah, and then he meets Adam, and Adam reveals that Adam is Jonah. Jonas.
Before he meets Adam, he sees the passage, and he wants to go through it, but then he opens the door and nothing is built yet. It's just rock. Oh yeah. He gets very first. Then he gets to go with Noah to Adam, and he finds out that Adam is him.
Yeah, exactly. Because did he want to go back then? He finds out that he can't get back. Claudia, in the meantime, finds out what happened to her, that she eventually died, and that also her father died. In 2020, the other kids, Marta, Francisca, Elizabeth, and Magnus, that start to figure things out a bit. So they suspect Bartos of things, and they start following him, and they get in control of the time machine. And they find out what it is. Jonas
and Hannah meet Charlotte and Peter at the bunker.
Yeah.
And but this means it's the adult version of Jonas. So they also have to get to the shock that, oh my God, this guy is Jonas, but the kid that we know also just vanished, but this is the older version. But it becomes a bit more realistic because they already see proof that it's the same guy.
Yeah.
And they go to the bunker that's that old bunker next to the cabin, and they discuss the existence of time travel. Yeah. And they also receive it. They also eventually reveal it to very skeptical Katerina.
That was it.
Who makes fun of them and runs away and doesn't want to deal with them. Yeah, at that time. Because that was
It is a weird story to hear.
Of course. Especially when your husband is gone, your son is gone, and they come up with time travel as the excuse.
Exactly. And then in this episode we have also Clausen that interviews Alexander, and he tells that he knows that his name was actually Keuler before he married Regina, and that's quite a reveal also. So what's going on there, we don't know yet.
Yeah.
Then in the 5th episode we have Adam talking to Jonas and about the part he can play and how he can change the future and how he can prevent actually his father from killing himself.
And then the thing for me was like he shows him also that he has he has a time machine of himself, like a God particle.
Yeah.
Which is in a time machine, and he says you can go to any time you want.
Exactly.
But does that mean every 33 years or just any you want?
I think he actually says that it's outside of the 33 years. He can
that's the loophole, yeah.
Exactly. So he can go to any time and any place. And that's when Jonas travels to the day before.
Before the
exactly.
I like the way they make the machine and the old school German style with the mask. It's really pretty cool.
Yeah, and then we have Ulrich that gets out of the psychiatric ward. He escapes. He finds Mikkel, tries to escape with Mikkel through the caves, but just before he can escape, he gets caught. I think by Aegon again. If I remember well. Yeah. Charlotte, that also has a bit of an important reveal here, and that is saying that to Stranger Jonas that H.D. Tenhouse is actually not her real grandfather and that she never knew her parents. By the way, the end of this episode was very, very Stranger Things to me, and that's that the teens go back to the 80s. Don't they even have a bike with them or something? But in my mind,
it would have been actually perfect. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's very, very Stranger Things. So that's that. In episode 6, then we're getting to the close to the end. Michael, the father of Jonas, on the day before he kills himself. So we actually step back to the beginning of the first season, even before that. So we get some extra time.
You see that Michael is a person that is still struggling with what happened to him.
Yeah,
he doesn't want to go to. There's a party of the Nielsen's house. Their marriage celebration anniversary, and he doesn't want to go, and he has moments of deja vu, and you see he's a very troubled mind.
Yeah, exactly. But we also learn in this episode that he wasn't actually trying to kill himself. It's revealed that it was Jonas who led him into the caves and took him to 1986.
Yeah.
So it was actually his son, I think Stranger Jonas then, but that took him into the caves to 1986.
I don't remember exactly. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
because he was watching from. That also was the guy they were scared of. They were running away from because they saw someone. They thought.
Exactly.
The stranger was the older Jonas. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's the one that actually kidnapped Mikkel and took him to 1986 for some reason. Then older Claudia also arrives and tells Jonas that Michael must kill himself, so everything can happen as it always has. Jonas believes Claudia's story and then leaves his father behind. And then the events take place as we started the first season. That Michael started.
It's strange you tell your father like, don't do this, I want to stop you, and in the end, you're the reason actually that he does it.
Episode 7, that starts with Claudia's body being discovered in the woods in 1954. Egon thinks that she is a part of the Helga's kidnapping, and the boy calls her the White Devil. It's the first time I think that they call her the White Devil.
Yeah. Weiße Teufel. Yeah.
Exactly, Weiße Teufel.
Nice word, nice. Weiße Teufel.
In 1987, the day of Claudia's father's death, and Claudia tries to prevent this.
Yeah, also strange. Yeah.
Also very strange. They get a bit in a bit of a confrontation with each other.
Yeah, they get into a fight, and she doesn't want to do anything bad, but because they struggle for a telephone, because he wants to call the police, because of evidence they have now. and she pushes him, not willing to do anything wrong, but he ends up with his head against the kitchen counter, and he dies.
Horrible scene, also sad.
Very sad, yeah.
Yeah, so that's that one, and then we have Clausen, that weird guy again that confronts Alexander with the fact that actually Clausen had a brother named Alexander Köhler, who went missing in 1986, and that's not him.
We know now a little bit about Clausen, that he came to this place not because he wants to find out everything that happened to the children. He got information from someone that gave him an anonymous note, like, information about your brother you can find in Winden.
Exactly.
And that's why he ended up in Winden.
Then in the last episode, the finale of season 2, Jonas explains to Claudia everything he knows about time travel and about the apocalypse.
Yeah, I still don't really understand the connection between, and also I don't understand the good or bad side of the Weiss and Teufel of Claudia. So
no, exactly.
Yeah, that's very Dutch to me.
That's hard to say. Yeah,
it's too easy with Adam and Noah. They look really creepy, and then this woman is okay, but if you realize what she's doing, also I don't think everything is right.
Yeah, that's a bit the question, like who's right, who's wrong. Charlotte learns that Alexander had radioactive waste buried and goes to the plant to try to stop Clausen from finding out.
Opening it, yeah. What policeman can just order a nuclear power plant to open the concrete?
That's what I also thought. Like, is that just a bit easy writing, or is there?
It's a bit like, okay, yeah, you can want whatever you want. You have a warrant, but we're not going to do this. Like, it's fucking dangerous. Yeah,
that's what I also thought. Like, it's impossible.
Here, but let's open it. Like, yeah. It means Clausen has to be connected because he's the one that's ordering the opening up, and it leads to apocalypse. So it has to be connected.
Exactly. But then we find out about Elizabeth, that she's Charlotte's daughter and a mother, like we talked about before. That's what we find out here. Then we have Agnes and two other people that people think that it's Magnus and Franziska enter the room. Agnes takes the gun from Noah and she kills Noah. Jonas that puts Martha into the bunker when the apocalypse is shaping up, because he wants
the old Jonas,
old Jonas puts Martha in bunker and locks her up, but then in the end she escapes.
When Elizabeth and her father are entering, also Katerina goes into the caves, finally figures out what her husband was up to, and she opens again the Sigmundus gates.
In 2053 we see Elizabeth go into the dead zone.
Yeah.
And also activating the machine, the God particle.
Magnus and Franziska do this in 1921 at the same time.
So then all timelines are matched up more or less. And then we have Jonas in his home with Martha.
And Adam comes into the room.
Adam shoots Martha, so Martha dies there. And then
but before she dies, even which you already see she's gonna die, but he still tells her you can try to save her, or you can. What was the thing when he said you can, but you know what you have to do or something.
Okay.
So you actually have no choice, and then suddenly out of the blue, the biggest twist. Tell us.
Yeah, the biggest twist is that Martha emerges out some kind of portal again.
Different hair, dark hair.
Yeah, and I think she says even something that she's not from this world, from another world.
No, I'm not who you think I am.
Oh yeah, doesn't she say?
Yeah, that's what she says. I remember. I'm not who you think I am, because she's not the same Martha, of course. It's from a different universe.
Yeah, but I think she also said something about that she's from a different world.
Yeah, maybe she said like, "I'm not who you think I am. I'm not from this world." Maybe it was the second sentence.
Yeah, exactly, something like that. Yeah.
From another time, from another world. That's what she said.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We also see that Franziska, Magnus, and Bartosz and stranger Jonas, they leave before the explosion hit and. They go somewhere, but we don't know where.
So then, at the moment of the explosion, we know that in this explosion, because it can still be retracted, whatever.
Yeah.
The old Martha, the normal Martha dies, is dead. Adam, he disappears again.
Yeah.
We don't know where he is. Jonas and the new Martha go with a different time machine. From her to a different world, a different time. Yeah. So for sure he goes to a different. I think he goes in the new season to a different universe already.
So yeah, it's
Yeah, exactly.
It's so much. We probably missed a lot also, but
Yeah, the only thing missing, I think, that I can remember is the most important. We have the four families, which are way more connected than they know, than we know. Still, we know a bit more of it. We know that the most messed up twists in the family business there are that a young kid goes back in time and becomes a different man.
Yeah.
And he has to commit suicide, otherwise his then born son Jonas, the main character, doesn't survive. So he does, and we know that the main policewoman Charlotte, actually, she never knew who her parents was, but then in the end it turned out to be that her father was a creepy priest, which is one of the Sigmundus group.
Yep.
Her mom actually is a daughter, which I still don't understand how they do that.
Nee.
We have to see. And then my biggest thing, I think, from the show is, and we'll talk about it after the recap, is who is really Adam?
Exactly. That's also the big question for me. There's also a lot of people that are saying like, no, hey, he's just Jonas, and that makes perfect sense. That's something we can discuss about. But let's end this recap now.
Yeah.
This was the recap of season 1, season 2. Very long. Maybe we try to keep it as structured as possible, but it's not easy. We talk each week about movies, about series. We make movie reviews, movie reactions. We rank movies, good movies, bad movies, guilty pleasures, you name it. We play movie games, well, everything connected to movies and show business. That's more or less what we do. So if you like that, if you think that we talk a bit fun, like this video, but most of all, subscribe to the channel.